Point 8, the coordinate plane. There are a few definitions we need to take a look at. Okay, coordinate plane. I'll look at it after this. Coordinate plane is formed by the intersection of a horizontal number line, called the x-axis, and a vertical number line called the y-axis. Y is up and down, x is across. Okay, I remember x because I feel like x makes a cross like that. So x goes across, okay? So x-axis is horizontal, y-axis is vertical, okay? And if we can refer to things as vertical or horizontal, that's going to help us out a lot too. The axes meet at a point called the origin, right here, 0, 0. It is the origin, okay? It is divided into 4 quadrants. The way we count our quadrants is we start in the upper right, 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to know how those are labeled because later on, especially when you get into higher algebras, if you don't know what quadrants things are supposed to be in, you're going to have some problems. Okay? In quadrant 1, everything is positive. My x and my y. In quadrant 2, my x is negative, my y is positive. In quadrant in quadrant 3, everything is negative. X is negative, y is negative. And in quadrant 4, x is positive and y is negative. Okay? You need to know that too, because it will help you, because sometimes we make silly mistakes, and if we know something is supposed to be in quadrant 1, but we're getting a negative and a positive point, we're like, we did something wrong. Okay? So knowing these things and using common sense will help us. An ordered pair is what is graphed on a quadrant. It is a point in the coordinate plane. So it includes an x and a y. Whether that x is 0 or that y is 0, it still has both an x and a y. Okay? That is the breakdown of our quadrant system, of our coordinate plane system. Quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. So then we come over to this graph over here. It's got 3 points on it. Oops, I forgot to label this one as C. Okay? And it wants to know, what is the ordered pair of point A? Jason, what's the ordered pair?
No.
Do you know?
No.
Okay. Emma, what?
4.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, 4. -3. 4, -3. And what quadrant is that in?
Quadrant 4.
Quadrant 4. Okay?
I'll do the next one.
You'll do the next one? Okay. What is the order pair of B then, Jason?
-3.
-3.
1 or 2. I'm not sure.
It is quadrant 2, but -3 what is my point? What's my y?
2.
2. Okay. -3, 2, and we are in quadrant 2. Okay. What about point C? Okay, E, what? Good. -1, -1, and it's quadrant 3. Okay. So will we be able to identify where a point lies and what quadrant it is in?
Yes.
Can we do that? Okay. Cool. Then we have to reverse it. Okay. And we have to be able to plot points. So who wants to come plot A for me? Okay. Carter, come plot A for me. And then I'm going to pick on other people that haven't done things.
I don't really do this. So, I know those are.
Come plot A. And then also, after you plot A, why don't you tell me what quadrant it is next to A down there? Oh, that's fine. Okay. That's fine. That's perfect. So this is point A, okay? Point A is at 3, 2, so he came over to 3, up 2, he plotted his point. Coolio. Okay, B. Nope. All 3 of you have helped me. Let's see here. Corey, come do B. B. Come grab. Come plot. Stop with the sound effects. Don't need them. Come plot B and then tell me what quadrant it is in. So you're going to plot -5, 1. No, you're not. It's okay. We will help you if something's going on. -5 is what? Your X or Y axis?
It's
X. So is it Where's that at on the x-axis? X is horizontal. Nope, not vertical, horizontal. Okay, -5, good, now. Perfect.
Good job, Corey.
See, -5, 1, and what quadrant is that in? Oh, no, it's just 1 point. -5, 1, put a point there.
Oh, what?
No. I said put a point there.
Dot.
Oh, you said point 1.
Okay. -5, 1, that's how I graph this.
Yeah.
Okay, now what quadrant is that, right? What quadrant that is there for me? Don't whisper the wrong answer, Tim. That's not appropriate or nice. Good. Quadrant 2. Thank you, sir. Okay. C. Let's see here. Who's going to do C for me? Seth's going to do C for me. Seth. Okay. Where does 0, -3 get plotted? Where's point C? This one's a little bit trickier. Where's 0? Yep, there we go. 0, -3. Is that in a quadrant? No. But what is it on? Perfect. But it's on the y-axis. Okay, so when it is on an axis, it's not in a quadrant. You would state y-axis. It's on the y-axis. Okay? So can we handle plotting points also?
Yeah.
Okay? The last thing we're going to talk about is a word problem I'm going to read to you. This is the chart for the word problem, then we're going to go off of it. But it's talking about a scatter plot. Have you guys ever done scatter plots before? Okay, a scatter plot is basically where you use the numbers and you graph them on a coordinate plane. And it's going to have dots all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
And then we look for patterns in our scatter plot to see if we can draw a line through things, to see if it's a linear function. We see if there's data we can use from it. Lots of crazy stuff like that, okay? So, a scatter plot uses a coordinate plane to display paired data, and paired data is the same as an ordered pair. Here is the word problem. Does that make sense then? Okay, here's the word problem. It says fish. This stuff represents fish, okay? A biologist measured the lengths and masses of 8 rainbow trout. I only put 7 up there, though, because I ran out of space. So 7 rainbow trout. Okay. Make a scatter plot of the data shown in the table and describe any relationship you see. So we have to make a scatter plot, and then we have to describe a relationship. So how would I make a scatter plot for this? Do I count by ones?
No.
Oh,
Count
no.
by hundreds.
You want to count by hundreds?
Yeah.
Okay, Jacob, I like that. What is my x and what is my y?
Yo. X would be the length.
Okay, so yes, because what? You want to tell me what? Okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to make this my x and my y. Now, does it really matter which one's which if they're ordered pairs? Not really, but you have to label your graph for me so that I know what you're making what. So I'm going to label this graph down here as length, okay? And here I'm going to say mass. If you do not label it for me, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to read that, okay? So you better label stuff for me or else it's just wrong. So we want to count by hundreds on both of them? Is that what you want to count by on both?
Yeah.
Sure, okay. 100, 2, this one goes up to what, 400? 3, 4, so I'll put it to 500 just. And this one goes up to 754, so I need to go to 800, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so now when I graph 405, 715, what am I doing?
You'll draw
400.
Virtually at the 400 mark, okay? So like right here, and then I'm going to go to 715, right? So 715 is probably like, what is going on? Look at me. Stop. Put your chair down the right way like I've told you to. We'll fix the table in a minute. It's probably because you were kicking the leg. Now sit the right way. Just don't touch it. Okay. So go 4, stop. I need you to refocus so that we can get done. Refocus. So you go 4:05 and you go like 7:15, so something like this. This is how I have to do it or else I can't get my dot where I need it to be. Okay, so someplace around there. Okay? And then I'm going to graph each of these points individually. Stop and focus. So I'm going to go 360 and I'm going to do 557. 557 should be about a little over halfway, right? And 360, something like that, okay? I'm going to plot all of these points and that's how you create a scatter plot. Just put it right there. Does that make sense? So you're going to have to put stuff into scatter points tonight. Let's do homework.
Yay.